Hakadosh Boker Tov. We're continuing with halachot of berachot and Siman Kuf Samechet. Yesterday we spoke about what's called French toast. We're continuing now with the halachot of croutons. So if you're going to take now pieces of bread and you're going to make them into small pieces, you're going to cut them in small pieces, and then afterwards you're going to fry them, right, with a lot of oil in order to place them in, let's say, soups or other things as well, which that's what's called croutons. So then the beracha of the croutons become mezonot. However, though, if you only bake them and you are not frying them, which means that after it's already baked, you cut them to smaller pieces, and now, or you have leftover bread, and now you want to make croutons, so you have them in smaller pieces, and now you want to come and you want to rebake them. The second baking does not mevatel the din of lechem on it, and therefore the beracha is still going to be a motzi on these croutons. Nevertheless, he comes and he says, what happens if you fried them with very little amount of oil? Meaning you didn't come and you fried them with a large amount of oil, you only used a little amount of oil in order that it doesn't get stuck to the pan. So he says in such a case it's also considered afiyah, right? And as long as you could still see, meaning it's considered the baking, and as long as you could still see that it looks like bread, even if it does not have a kazait in every single one of the pieces, it's still going to be a motzi. And if you obviously ate a kazait, you're going to have to say birkat hamazon. Now in all these cases that we were talking about, that they were going to be cooked and it doesn't have a kazait, it becomes mizonot al mechiyah. This is even if it still has surat apat. That's only if it was mamash, it was actually cooked, which means that you put it in a hot water, right, and things like that. But if you put in a keli sheni, then it's not considered cooked and it still has the dinim of hamotzi and birkat hamazon. So that's also going to be very, very important just to remember. The same halacha would apply if you're going to pour, right, from irui, kli rishon, which means you took from a pot and you're pouring from a pot directly on top of this bread. If it does not have a kazait and it still has surat apat, we also still have to be machmid and say that this is going to be a motzi and birkat hamazon. So therefore, all of these halachot are very, very important because, again, we're trying to downgrade from hamotzi to a mezonot. The only way to downgrade from making a motzi and now taking this bread, which was once a motzi, and now making it into mezonot, is going to be talking about downgrading by frying, right, or doing these things, which is going to be frying it or cooking it, and if it's going to be less than pieces, then a kezait. When we're talking about now pirurei lechem or matzah, so he comes and he says like this: if you've got bread and you came and you made it into pirurim ktanim, and you're going to eat it the way that they are without anything else, you're going to make a motzi, and if you ate a kezait, you're going to make a birkat hamazon. Right now, he says even though there's no kezait here and there's no tzurat apat, that's the way that it's going to be. That means you just came and you cut it down. You didn't do anything to it. You just took bread and you made it into a powder. You come and you cut it down to size. So he says, nevertheless, it's better to make a motzi on something that you could still see surat apat, and then you're going to come and you're going to be poter, right, everything else. So that's going to be very, very important. Now, if afterwards you came and what you did was you put it inside of water or you did other things in order to make them connect, so then some people still say that you're going to make hamotzi as long as you put a little bit of water that it did not become whitened. And then Bezrat Hashem will continue tomorrow. Bezrat Hashem was speaking about that what happens if after making it into the breadcrumbs you came and you mixed it up, whether it's going to be with eggs or with other things as well, in order to make whether it's going to be knedlach, whether it's going to be other halachot as well. So therefore we're going to speak about that, about now what does the new beracha become.